Now, during the week, Barack Obama made history, becoming the first president to support gay marriage. Many hailed it as a sign of real leadership.
The fallout here in Australia shortly, but first, how the First Lady and their daughters influenced the president.
I think same-sex couples should be able to get married. You know, Malia and Sasha, they've got friends whose parents are same-sex couples. And there have been times where Michelle and I have been sitting around the dinner table and we've been talking and about their friends and their parents, and Malia and Sasha, it wouldn't dawn on them that somehow their friends' parents would be treated differently. It doesn't make sense to them, and frankly, that's the kind of thing that prompts a change of perspective. I had hesitated on gay marriage, in part because I thought civil unions would be sufficient, and I was sensitive to the fact that for a lot of people, you know, the word marriage was something that evokes very powerful traditions, religious beliefs, and so forth.
Well, on Thursday, we set out to quiz our federal MPs for their position on same-sex marriage. We wanted to know whether any of their views had evolved. As it turned out, it was no easy task.
Yeah, we were still tracking down responses last night, and in fact, still waiting on many this morning. But at last count, only 16 of the 150 members of the House of Reps told us they support same-sex marriage. 42 said they didn't. 5 said they were undecided and were consulting with their electorate. Could take some time. That means a remarkable 87 are yet to respond or simply finding it too difficult to answer.
Now, the 14 who told us they support same-sex marriage include Greens member Adam Bandt, Independent Andrew Wilkie and 12 members of the ALP. High-profile supporters include Anthony Albanese, Greg Combet, Kate Ellis and Nicola Roxon. The Prime Minister, of course, remains opposed. It's worth noting that when Labor MPs were quizzed in a survey which guaranteed anonymity late last year, almost half said they were in support.
Frightened? Who, us? Nobody from the coalition told us they support same-sex marriage, and that includes Malcolm Turnbull, who last year, you remember, told Weekend Sunrise he thinks it will inevitably happen. His office told us that he, quote, supports his leader.
So let's bring in our masters of spin now, ad expert Jane Caro and Joe Hildebrand from the Daily Telegraph. Good morning to both of you. Jane, first up, what do you make of Barack Obama's announcement? Is it real leadership?
Look, I think it plays as real leadership, and the thing is, we never know. Do we actually know what these people think? They say, and we have to believe them, or sometimes we don't. In this case, it feels like real leadership. It feels very presidential. It feels very clever, because what he's doing is he's actually taking control of what the debate around this presidential election is going to be about. It could have been about the economy, not his greatest strength, given what's been happening over the last few years. Now it seems to me it's more likely to be, might still not happen, but he's making a bid, if you like, to reframe it as a battle between the authoritarians, the right and the religious right in particular, and the small L liberals, the people who, you know, freedom's a big emotive word in America. Yeah. It's a clever play on his part, and I do think that he genuinely agrees with gay marriage, to be perfectly frank. Why wouldn't you? And it's just a no-brainer, really.
Yeah, well, Joe, do you agree that it was perhaps a little bit on the orchestrated side to show a great point of difference?
Oh, it definitely would have been. I mean, the thing is that he's got to mobilise a huge voter base in order to get the sort of numbers he got last time around. So obviously in the US system it's voluntary voting, so you've got to get people out of bed, you've got to get them walking down the street on a rainy day to the polling booths. Often, you know, up to half the population doesn't show up to vote. So you get a real hot button issue, it's a lightning rod. You know, if you're pro-gay marriage, you could roughly do the numbers on the back of an envelope that 1 in 10 people are going to come out and vote for you because they're going to feel that strongly about it. And then, of course, you run the risk of having, you know, a really dyed-in-the-wool conservative candidate coming after you from the other end and mobilising their sort of churchy base, the sort of, you know, their equivalent of the happy clappers, you know, the sort of Tea Party type.
The very unhappy clappers.
So that's right. So if you had had like a really conservative opponent like a Rick Santorum or Newt Gingrich even, who had already mobilised the whole sort of church Bible Belt brigade, I reckon he'd be much more reluctant to do that, and then we'd see maybe how much of a man of his convictions was. But it's a good thing.
Why do you think it's so hard? I had a vision the other day when this happened of Gillard's office and her advisors saying, Prime Minister, Obama said he supports it. You need to say this too. And she's saying, no, I can't backflip anymore. My back is sore. And why was it so hard for us to get responses from our MPs?
Well, they're scared to come out. So.
Yeah, they're scared to come out. That's very good.
They were set up.
Look, part of it is compulsory voting, because if you have compulsory voting, then in the end, the people that matter are the people who are actually going to change their vote. A small percentage of voters who are swinging voters in a small percentage of seats. And so you spend a lot of your time trying hard not to offend them. Also, our politicians, and I think it is partly because we have compulsory voting, but there's other reasons too, have become so... I mean, I just think it's revealing that some of the people you went, oh, I'll have to check with my electorate before I know what I think. Yeah. I mean, and I think that's one of the things that's kind of disgusting us about our politicians. We actually want them to say what they think and the devil take the consequences. We'll throw rocks at them when they say what they think, but nevertheless, we actually are really hungry for it. We despise them.
Yeah.
I know, it's a really complex, multi-layered relationship.
Yeah, we're a research-driven society, there's no doubt about it. We can't get a republic over the line. When are we going to get gay marriage? Do you think that will ever happen?
Well, I think people are mounting the wrong argument. And the thing is that people are forgetting, you know, the most important thing about the whole gay marriage issue and what the politicians should be out there is really, you know, getting to the bottom of what this whole thing is all about, which is that it's revenue neutral. Absolutely no budget impact whatsoever. Surplus, completely protected.
Gay marriage is like votes for women. There'll be a huge amount of fuss and palaver about it. It'll come in and we'll never mention it again.
Exactly, Jane.
Right, just like in my family.
I don't know if we've got any more time. Have we got any more time?
No, I would like to ask the question. Rapping? Oh, okay. When was the last Australian politician who showed real leadership without going to the research group first?
Malcolm Turnbull, probably, when he crossed the floor.
Okay.
Yes. Oh, come on, what about PJK? What about Keating? What about all those nice speeches that he totally wrote himself?
Wasn't he earlier than Malcolm Turnbull?
I think he was. I think you got it there.
Yes, yeah, I agree. But now Turnbull's saying he agrees with the leader. So you wonder, I mean...
Supports the leader.
Yes. Jane, lovely
I support the leader.
The leader being Rupert Murdoch.
Any leader. That's right.
I don't have a bloody leader.
He's sending me messages right now. I have to go to my home planet.
Charlotte was a car park puddle. Thank you,
I'm meeting in London.
In your Peter Pan collar. Thank you. We'll see you soon. And we will be following up with those MPs who still haven't answered later today. I don't think we won't, and hopefully we'll have a complete list for you tomorrow. As soon as we do, you will find it on our website.
But still ahead this morning, the world's healthiest man. It's a big claim. We'll find out how he did it. But next, the Pentagon's lack of diplomacy. Find out who it considers the enemy.